You hear the term quantum computing, and it probably sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? But here's the thing. This isn't some far-off, distant future. This is a technology being built right now, one that promises to solve problems that are literally impossible for even our most powerful supercomputers today. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how we process information itself.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. What if we could cure diseases by perfectly modeling molecules? Or design revolutionary new materials from the atom up? Or untangle the chaos of global financial markets? See, that's the core promise here. It's not just about making our computers faster, it's about giving them entirely new superpowers.
All right, so to really get our heads around this, here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start with that incredible promise. Then we'll get into the serious, world-breaking threat. We'll look at the new global race to master this tech, put the hype through a much-needed reality check, and finally talk about how we're already building a quantum-safe future.
So let's dive right in. What on earth makes a quantum computer so different from the laptop you're using or the phone in your pocket? The answer is kinda weird, but absolutely amazing. The magic ingredient is something called a qubit. Now, your computer uses bits, which are like simple light switches. They're either on or off, a 1 or a 0. But a qubit, it's more like a dimmer switch. It can be on, it can be off, or it can be a blend of both at the exact same time. This mind-bending state is called superposition, and it lets a quantum computer explore millions of possibilities all at once. It's a massive, massive advantage.
So, what could we actually do with that kind of power? Well, we're talking about discovering new drugs in a fraction of the time. We could design perfectly efficient supply chains that save billions and get goods where they need to go. We could even supercharge AI to find patterns in data that are completely invisible to us right now. Seriously, these aren't just little improvements. These are total game changers for pretty much every industry you can think of.
Okay, so that all sounds fantastic, but, every revolutionary technology is a double-edged sword. And the flip side for quantum computing is, well, it's a really, really big one. It threatens the very foundation of our digital world. And here's the crazy paradox. The same power that can build new worlds can also shatter our current one. You see, all the math that protects our digital lives, your bank account, your private messages, even national secrets, it's all built on problems that are just too hard for our current computers to solve. But for a powerful quantum computer, those impossible problems are basically child's play.
And here's the skeleton key that could do it. It's called Shor's algorithm. Think of our modern encryption like a bike lock. It's made by multiplying two huge secret prime numbers together. It's super easy to multiply them to make the lock, but it's basically impossible to take that final number and work backwards to find the original primes. Well, Shor's algorithm is like a quantum master key that can do that reverse math in a flash, shattering those locks wide open.
And it doesn't stop there. Another tool, Grover's algorithm, goes after a different kind of digital lock. It doesn't completely shatter it, but it weakens it a lot. Imagine your password suddenly became half as strong. That's what this does. The bottom line is, in a quantum-powered future, pretty much none of our current security is safe.
Now you might be thinking, okay, but these super powerful computers don't exist yet, so what's the rush? Well, this is why it's an urgent problem today. Adversaries, think nation-states or sophisticated criminal groups, are already siphoning up huge amounts of encrypted data, government secrets, corporate plans, your personal info. They're just hoarding it, waiting for the day they get their hands on a quantum computer powerful enough to unlock it all. The theft is happening right now. So, when you have this incredible promise on one hand and a catastrophic threat on the other, what do you get? You get an intense, high-stakes global race. The competition to be the first to build a truly powerful quantum computer is officially on.
Just look at that number, over $40 billion in public investment. To put that in perspective, that's more than NASA's entire annual budget. This shows you that this technology has left the university lab. This is now a matter of national and economic security, and governments are all in.
And if you look at who's spending that public money, China is way out in front, committing over $15 billion. The EU and the US follow. But this chart doesn't really tell the full story. In the US, you've got a massive amount of private investment from huge tech companies that changes the picture completely.
And it's not just about how much they're spending, it's about what they're spending it on. It's like two different strategies. The US is generally seen as leading the pack in the fundamental research to build the quantum computers themselves.
China, on the other hand, has poured resources into quantum communications, things like unhackable satellite links, which have more immediate uses. Two very different bets on where the future is heading.
So, with billions of dollars flying around and all this talk of breaking the internet, it's really easy to get swept up in the hype. So let's just take a breath for a second. Let's do a serious reality check. How close are we, really?
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This quote is from a major scientific review. What it's basically saying is that after looking at all the evidence, there's still no consistent proof that today's quantum computers can solve any real-world problem better than our good old classical computers. That quantum advantage we keep hearing about, it hasn't actually arrived, yet.
And the reason why is because this stuff is just incredibly hard. We don't have that many qubits to work with yet, and the ones we do have are unbelievably fragile and error-prone. Even the tiniest bit of environmental noise, like a stray vibration or temperature change, can mess up their calculations. It's like trying to perform brain surgery during an earthquake. So while things look great in simulations, the real-world hardware just isn't there yet.
But here's the crucial thing. Just because it's not here today doesn't mean we can just kick back and relax. The world's top cybersecurity experts are taking this threat dead seriously. And so, a different kind of race has started. The race to prepare our digital world for what's coming.
So how do you defend against a quantum attack? You build a better defense. The answer is something called post-quantum cryptography, or PQC. These are basically new types of encryption designed to run on the computers we have today, but they're based on math problems that we believe are hard for both regular computers and future quantum computers to crack.
And this isn't just a theory, it's already happening. The U.S. National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, has been running a global competition since 2017 to find the best PQC algorithms out there. They're now in the final stages, and the first official standards are being rolled out. This is literally the foundation for a future quantum-safe internet.
So, what does this actually mean for big companies and governments? Well, it means they have a monumental job ahead of them. First, they have to figure out where all their old encryption is hiding. That's a huge inventory project. Then, they need to build something called crypto agility, which just means making their systems flexible enough to swap out old algorithms for new ones. And finally, they have to plan a long-term migration to these new PQC standards. We're talking about one of the biggest infrastructure upgrades the internet has ever seen.
Look, at the end of the day, quantum computing is one of the biggest technological leaps of our lifetime. It holds both world-changing promise and a truly profound threat. The work that's happening right now, from the physicists building these delicate machines to the cryptographers designing their defenses, is going to define the world we live in. The revolution is coming. The question isn't if we'll be ready, it's how.